Hi, welcome back. Today's coffee morning. We can have a little chit chat and we can talk about age and what we're doing to make us feel better about it. So I'll make the tea, then we can have a chat.
To get a half naked, life's too short. Let's not waste it, 'cause paradise is wherever we make it. Paradise is wherever we make it. Oh, this view of you, it's got everything I need. Yeah, the rooms, they're cheap. And if we don't wanna, we don't ever have to leave.
Our tea. Anyone for a cake? You've got to love a nice cup of tea. Do you have real tea leaves, or tea bags? I have both. Right, one of the questions that I got asked from my last video when I said put anything in the comments was about my hair. No, they didn't ask if it was natural, and I'd love to say it is. I use a colour called Directions Cerise Pink. I have to bleach the front up and then I put the directions on and then rinse it out, and it's like a conditioner. It's got no peroxide in it. I have to do that every time I wash it. Excuse the state of it today. I should have put it up, but it's just been one of them days this morning. Monday mornings are always the worst. So how is everyone? Have you been enjoying the videos and our chat? Do you feel inspired? Has it made you feel better? I love it. Absolutely love it. But one thing happened, I forgot to tell you about, and I don't know if it's an age thing or not. A couple of videos ago when I went to the wedding, I don't know if you remember when I went to the wedding, the dress I wore, I couldn't wear a bra with it. And I bought off of Amazon, I don't know what they're called, they're nipple stickers. And they were like flowers, they're like a plaster, and you peel it off and stick them on. So no one can see your nipples. Anyway, when we were at the wedding, my son, he got bitten on his ankle and he scratched his ankle so much that it bled. And he said, "Has anyone got a plaster?" I nearly said, "They are." And then I thought about it, and my daughter looked at me, and I know what she was thinking. "You dare, mother." Is that an age thing? I don't know. I don't know. He could have had it. I wouldn't have minded. I would have just walked that side against the wall so no one could see. But that's the thing as well. Everything drops as you get older. I'm lucky. Well, I'm not lucky. I've got implants, but the reason I've got implants is because I had a double mastectomy when I was 29, but they don't droop. Everything else is, though. I wasn't happy at the time, but I am now. I was also thinking the other day is about our reflection. When we look in the mirror, it's no good waiting for the person looking back at you to smile first, because that is a reflection of us. We need to smile at them and they will smile back at us. And I think that is something very logical, really, about us and what we project out, because we are what we think we are. And I think if you look in the mirror and you see anger, then that is what's projected back at you. And that's why I don't live with anger. Yes, I do feel angry at times, but not enough to project it on anyone else. I deal with it internally until it's gone. It's just a natural emotion. But if you're always angry, you look in the mirror and angry, that anger is staring back at you. You're reflecting it back at yourself, not at anyone else. And I think that's really quite valid. And I know we look in the mirror and we see wrinkles and we see things about ourselves that we don't like. And that is where we have to accept them. It's acceptance, where we have to accept them and we have to say, um, that is us, that is part of us, and embrace them and love your wrinkles. Although I have looked into having something done around my mouth, smoker's lines. I don't smoke anymore. I gave up a year and a half ago. So it's all those changes. I feel better for giving up smoking. Have any of you ever given up smoking? Did you stay off of the fags or did you go back? I could have quite easily gone back many a time, but I didn't. I didn't. I chose not to because of how I feel. But there's lots of different things that about our lives that make us who we are. And being older, and we can look back at our experiences and we can turn them into something positive. The reason that I am where I am now is you've probably seen my last video on my journey, on my life, and what changed my life. But one of the things that did change it is I was very unwell and I had suspected lung cancer. And I went through tests and he said he was 80% sure it was lung cancer. And I went through so many different tests. And then I came home, I had to process that. And I thought my life was over. And I reflected on, had I done enough? Have I done enough in my life? If he says you've got 2 months to live, what am I going to do? How am I going to deal with that? So by the time I went 2 weeks later back to the hospital to see the consultant, I had processed it all and I had got acceptance of it. That if that was it, then that was it. And I looked back and thought, I've had a really good life. I was told it wasn't lung cancer, it was TB. And although that was serious enough, it was something I could get over. And from that minute, I changed my life. I thought, never again am I going to look back and think, have I done enough? If ever I'm in that position again, I want to look back and say, I have done enough. And that is one of the things that prompted me to bring you all with me on this journey. I love life now because I stared death in the face. So I really love each day. I still have bad days. We all do. We can't say we're going to be happy all the time because we're not. There's times when I get up in the mornings and I think, oh no, another day, because I am a bit of a loner and I stay in and I enjoy myself. But some mornings I get up and think, oh, what day is it? I still go through that. But now I have things to think back on that pull me back out of that. Do you? Do you have things? We've all got events in our life that we've been through, but sometimes you look back, and I look back, especially when I had my children. I was told I couldn't have children, and gave birth to. Well, I actually gave birth to four. Two died, and two are living. And then I gained another son when he was 12 years old. So I look back and I feel like looking back now, I'm a different person. I don't recognize that person there because it was so long ago, but it was me. And I'm still here inside. Does that make sense to you? But another thing is when I hit 60, it was like the age of doom. And I thought, it's all over. But do you know what? I'm having a ball. I am having a ball. I live dangerously. I love my life. And things that I say, oh, I can't do, a bit like the dating site. I'm having a ball. I'm really enjoying myself. And I don't tell my kids too much. I don't want them to know what the old girl's doing. I am really, really enjoying myself. I had a date last night. Um, he wasn't for me. He was a really lovely man. and he was quite local, which all the boxes were ticked with him. But unfortunately, there was no attraction for me, and I felt a bit sad for him really, but he was lovely, a lovely, lovely man. I will stay in contact with him and be friends with him, but that's all. But I'm enjoying myself. I'm really, really enjoying myself. I'm enjoying myself even going out walking and just saying hello to people, and it's just so lovely. Life is for living. I come alive in the summer. Do you prefer the summer or the winter? Because a lot of people prefer the winter, and I know it's all cozy inside, but I prefer the summer. I love the summer. The sunshine makes me feel really good, although I've had to put the blind down because it is so, so sunny, and it is really hot today as well. Next week's going to be hotter. But no, I enjoy life. I love life. Don't define your age by what you wear. We all have fashion mishaps. I had one a few years ago. I decided to buy honestly, it was a nightmare, a clip-on wig hairpiece, and I put my hair back, and it was a long curly bit, and it looked really natural. And I just thought, oh, I look so lovely in it. I went walking down the high street in it, thinking I looked like Farrah Fawcett Majors. I looked more like Don French in a comedy sketch. Then I went to my friend's. She had a barbecue, and I got my false nails on and my wiggy, and we all had a drink, and we decided to play volleyball. She put a line up across the garden, and we all got in teams and batted this ball with our hands backwards and forwards, and it was so good. And I jumped and to catch the ball hit my nails and broke them. And as I came back down, I left my wig hanging in the tree. She's never forgotten that. Jan, I'm sorry if you're watching. Yeah, I've never forgotten it. It was really funny. There's lots of things you can look back on and laugh. Your fashion mishaps. Yeah. But then fashion changes over the years. And I mean, I was a teenager in the 70s. I love 70s fashion. But I think we do that. The era that we were teenagers, we look back with happy memories with that. I loved all that fashion. I'd love that to come back. Don't know about bell-bottom trousers. Not really. I bought some trousers off Vinted, jeans, and they were very baggy, wide leg. They were like them Halara baggy jeans. My friend's got a pair and they looked amazing on her, so I got some. But I'm so short, I put them on, I look like a cube. They weren't for me, so I gave them away. I just looked like that. I didn't do that. I just looked like that. Yeah, and they was far too long. I would have looked really stupid in them. There was something that someone once taught me that I found absolutely amazing. With all that I went through in that awful year of my life, I lost my direction. I lost anything about me that I could find to make me feel happy. And someone said to me for me to close my eyes and imagine walking down a long, long path, and you can see the path going through the fields in the distance. And they told me to look back, and along that path were markers of really happy times in my life. And she said, stand on that path, think back to one of those really happy times, feel how you felt, and then turn back looking forward and carry on walking with that feeling inside you. And decide what your markers you want to happen and see them in the distance that you're walking towards them with that feeling. And you know, that's something I've used so often because we lose sight of that. We lose sight of the happy feeling. I am generally always happy. I always laugh. I laugh at the most ridiculous things. And sometimes I sit here, I live alone, um, which I love. I do love living alone. And I sit here and I think of something funny that's happened in the past, and I laugh so much. Well, the windows are open because it's summer. My neighbours must think I've gone doolally tat, but it's good. You've got to be happy. You must be happy. You have to be happy in your life. Too many of you do exercise. Everyone says, oh, you get the endorphins going. I hate it. I hate it. I can't make myself like it. I don't know where my endorphins have gone. I don't think I've got any. I bought myself one of them mini trampolines, the trampettes, and I thought, right, I'm going to do that. Every day I got on it, bounce, bounce, bounce. I hated it, but because I bought it, I thought I'd better get on it. Anyway, then I got the puppies, and they bit a hole in the middle. I've never been so delighted in all my life that I didn't have to get back on it. Yeah. So the dustman took it. Yay! No, that's not for me. That's not for me. And everyone says it's the feel good factor over exercise. Well, it don't make me feel good. It makes me feel rotten. But I do think that we become what we think we are. And all the time we sit there and we go, oh, it's miserable living on your own. And and so in your mind, you're thinking you're miserable, you're making yourself miserable. But if we suddenly say, actually, I don't have to be miserable. I'm going to be happy. We can become happy. We make ourselves happy. We have to do the things that make us happy. There's lots that make me happy. I mean, you still have to think of things, and there are still things that upset you, but it's how you deal with them. I had this thing where I felt life was very unfair to me. I got divorced 20 years ago after a not a happy marriage, but I stuck it out, which was the biggest mistake ever. But I stayed in that until my kids were teenagers because I didn't want them to come from a broken home. I mean, that was years ago. My daughter's 41 now. But I went through life feeling quite cheated because I consider myself to be a decent person. I don't shout and scream. I'm not malicious. I'm not nasty. Um, I got lots of love that I give, and I felt cheated that I was on my own. And I felt like it again a few months ago. Why am I on my own? Because I would like to curl up in bed with someone, and if you have a nightmare, you can roll over and they're there, and things like that. And I had to really address that within myself because I see people that have been married for years and years so happily, and why wasn't I? But actually, it's what's meant to be. I believe your life is mapped out, and it's what's meant to be. And then I thought, would I want to live with anyone? No, I wouldn't. I'm not having anyone tell me what I can watch on telly and what I can't. I'm not going to say, I'm just going to have a bath. Oh, I'm going to have early night. Do you mind? No, I do what I want to do. And I think that that is why I'm on my own because it's, I'm so fiercely independent and I always have been. And I don't want anyone standing in my way. I don't want to have to consider anyone. Maybe that's selfish. How many of you live on your own? How many of you have been married for many years? And how many of you have found love when you're older? I mean, obviously, you know, I lost my partner last year and we didn't live together. Neither of us wanted to live together. And although that was such a big shock, I look back and I ask myself what I got from it. Oh my goodness, he taught me so much. He was a psychologist, but I learned so much about myself from him. And that was just wonderful. And I now feel you can't look for someone else to replace them because everyone's their own person in their own right. And I would like a relationship, but I never want to live with anyone. And I don't know if you get it when you're older. You know, when you're younger and you meet someone and you fall in love and it's all little bluebirds, and I want that feeling again. Does anyone relate to that? I want to feel that again. Whether or not I ever do, I don't know. I really don't know. But I'll keep looking. But what's the cut-off age? Is there a cut-off age to dating? I don't know. I really don't know, because inside, I'm still 20. But that's another thing. When you're younger and you see men of the age we are now, and you go, "Oh, no." And I always wondered, do you grow older and look at them men? Yes, you do. Because I wouldn't look at someone young now, 5 or 6 years younger, but no more than that. So that's something I always wondered, but you do. But the saddest thing is, the men get uglier as they get older, don't you find? They do get uglier. Maybe it's because they haven't got a woman to say, "Don't wear that," or "Go and have a shave." I don't know. But I think with a man, it's not even about looks. If this is what I like. I always like a man to smell nice. It's really important to me. I don't even mean aftershave. Shower gel, they're washing, their clothes are well looked after, they're nicely turned out. I don't mean suit and tie. I don't mean any of that. I mean just they look crispy. Oh, I don't know what the word is. They've got to look nice. They've got to smell nice. Their teeth have got to be clean, even if they have to take them out to clean them. No, that they've got to have something nice about them, and they've got to have. It's not about looks. Well, to a certain extent, it is, wouldn't? Because you've got to have that attraction, but it's about personality and being compatible and bouncing off each other. Not literally, um, but having that banter between you and that attraction. Can you still get that when you're older? I don't know if you can. I really don't know if you can. I mean, I've had the chap that I was very fond of back in touch with me and wants to come over. I'm not sure. As much as I like him, I think it's gone. I think that feeling has gone. And you have to when you first go out with someone, you've got that trust. And I think the trust has gone now for me. It's just not right. So that's another thing with getting older, which obviously if you're married and you've been married for years, that's something you probably wouldn't relate to. But being on your own, it is something you think of. But life is so good, and I fill it with lovely things. I fill my life with happiness. My dogs, I adore my dogs. I go walking in the woods. I go out and about. I've got to actually phone my friend Vina and arrange to go out with her because we have lovely days out. So I'll be contacting her so we can go out somewhere, and I'll take you with me as well. Keep your questions coming. I love them. The lovely comments I've got, because I don't know how many of you appreciate the channel, but I've had the most beautiful comments. A lot of them are on my shorts I put on. saying I'm inspiring, and I just feel really good if it helps others, because you all help me with your comments. It makes me feel good, and I'm hoping I make you feel good as well. So keep them coming. I absolutely adore reading them, and I answer everyone back. So I've got my next video is going to be my surprise, and I'll be sharing that with you on Friday's video. Can't wait. So excited. Let's just say we've all got a lot of work to do. Anyway, I'm going to finish my tea, and don't forget, every Monday, get your best china out. Downton Abbey, get your best china out, ready for our coffee, tea morning, afternoon, wherever you are, because I think it's really good. Keep your questions coming. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and like and share. Anyway, have a good week, everyone. Until next time, I'll see you all soon.